Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our live. I'm excited. We're giving out grants today, and good to see you, Brian. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks, Ryder. How are you doing this fine Tuesday?
Doing well. Yeah, excited as always. We've been doing for a couple years now, giving out grants, and it's the last day of the month, so we're picking uh, a lot of grant winners today. So I'll mention that in a minute. But in case you didn't see, um, skipgrants.com, we're going to pick extra winners today. I'll share that good news in a minute. So, and as always, share where you're watching from. We love hearing. And yeah, it's good to see everyone who's chimed in early. Put in where you're watching from. Hit the like button, and yeah, we're excited to talk grants because not only are we giving out, we're picking, well, maybe 15 winners today. So the odds, I don't think the odds have ever been better that you're going to leave today's live winning something. And so, tell a friend to join in as well. And then be sure you're entered up here at Skip Grants for an extra bonus entry. And Brian, we've got multiple other grants that are due today, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we have about four that we're talking about. They were all due today, but I think a few of them they pushed back deadlines. So if you haven't applied to all of the ones we talk about today, there's still some time left. But there is one big one in particular that we've been talking about a lot, that we've been helping people out with a lot, and that's the Barclays $60,000 grant. And they have 60 of those grants ranging between, I believe, $2,000 and $60,000. I think they have a $40,000 grant, a $20,000, and a bunch in between. So excited to talk about all those. And like Ryder said, 10 grants, it's really good odds. I think right now, we have 57 people watching, so should be some good odds for you guys today.
Yeah. So 10 grants for people who already entered prior to the live, through our funding tracker. And then we're going to call a few extras, right? I don't want to promise the extras today. If we get to a couple hundred likes here, we'll add in more. And I want to say before we get started, thank you to everyone who joined last week. Exactly a week ago, we had Alejandro on from the SBA. We're almost at 30,000 views with Alejandro. Not quite, but that was the big SBA EIDL news, their brand new portal. And for anyone who's gotten EIDL loans, if you got PPP, there's relevance for you there. And if you're going after future SBA funding, it's relevant. So just thank you to everyone who tuned in there. It was really, really a pleasure to always have, direct contacts at the SBA. And we were especially grateful to have him live on launch day. It went live, and 3 hours later, we had him on talking to all of you. So just thanks to all of you. And for those of you who submitted feedback, they're already making improvements. For example, I'll just share this before we start picking winners. He said that they're going to add in a little bit more data, such as daily interest or monthly interest. It's something that the SBA realized they took out. So they're going to add back in more data on the new portal.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was directly from our feedback or not. What do you know, Ryder? Because I remember people were mentioning that as we were doing the launch. They're like, hey, we want that accrued interest, for tax purposes. I think that's it. That's important.
Yeah, I'm sure they came up with it, but maybe we can take some credit. Yeah, it's based on our feedback. I'm sure they heard it from others as well. But yeah,
they did ask for our feedback, so that's a pretty special, just like link that we have there where they do want to hear from you guys. So we appreciate those comments. We shared them with the SBA. So thank you guys so much for doing that.
Yeah, I think the next step for us is to get some lawmakers. But
yeah.
For those of you who think, oh, you can't affect policy change, well, you can, and they look at your feedback. Now, for those of you who are looking for EIDL forgiveness, let's get some lawmakers on here, and you can lobby them that way if that's your jam.
Yeah, sounds good.
Brian, before we get started, did you want to share this? I mean, there's some basically 8 new states and territories have been approved in the past week.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I think it's easier now to say the amount of states that are not approved than the amount of states that are approved. So, and we had some territories like you mentioned. We had Guam, U.S. Virgin Islands. I don't know if we have anyone from those territories watching, but if so, please let us know. That'd be really cool to hear from you. But then among some of the other ones, let me see if I can do them all off the top of my head. I know that we had, I believe it was Arkansas that was just approved. Rhode Island, and I believe Delaware as well. Or if that I'm not sure if that was one we already had up here.
Yeah,
Trying to think
Delaware was new. Yeah, this is a
the
good
other
quiz to
ones.
see if you have it.
Yeah, we had if I see it, maybe I'll be able to
Wyoming.
remember.
Yeah, Wyoming. I mean, but Brian, to your point, what's not approved? Basically,
Yeah.
anyway,
Texas,
yeah,
Florida, Mississippi, and I think there's one at the top of right. I think it's like one of the A's.
yeah. So for those of you who just tuning in on SSBCI, again, these are a lot of great programs for $10 billion funneled to states. It's taken a while to get through. It is complicated. You know, you need a business plan. For example, we helped someone get $50,000 through SSBCI funding last week. Brian put up this video yesterday. We talked about that and kind of you need a business plan, projections, things like that. So if you need help with that, you're interested, we can help you with that. And this is good funding. It's low interest loans. There's also venture capital funding. There's also collateral, a loan collateral program, and a few others as well. So
real quick, Ryder, one thing I'll mention, because I think we have a lot of people already here from Florida, right here, Jacksonville. We have St. Pete, a bunch of other people from Florida, all the time been asking about the SSBCI. And we actually got word today that they are going to be announcing the SSBCI programs very soon. I believe it's within a week, and we will be updating you guys as soon as we get that information. We just heard today.
Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe we could try to get someone on, or at least we're going to share it live. And Doug, thanks for the tip, Doug. And yeah, excited for that Florida news. And we're going to answer grant questions too. So if you entered the FedEx, Barclays, a few of the other ones for Black History Month, just chime in. We'll answer some of those questions. But we're picking winners today, and I want to just pick two quick $100 winners. So for those of you who didn't get the memo, we're giving out micro grants this month. You know, it's a small thing, but we wanted to increase the odds of you winning. So $100 grants, you walk away with $100. You know, do what you want with it. So we're going to shotgun through some of these grants. We had 700 people enter, a little less, prior to this live, and then at skipgrants.com at the end we'll pick live. For those of you who tuned in right now, we'll pick live. So let me spin, and we'll pick two numbers, and I'll announce the two $100 winners.
Sounds good. Let's do it. All right. Drum roll. Here we go. First winner. Number 564. So for those of you that are wondering, throughout this, Ryder has everybody's email that entered in, and he's just lining it up with the number that we're getting here. So
absolutely.
There we go.
There we go. Because it's a 10-second spin here. We'll pick one more, and I'll tell you who's won. Okay, and 296, and we're going to announce our March grants probably next week too. So be sure you're tuning in next Tuesday, and if there's more SSBCI news, we'll also share that next week as well. Okay, the first two winners for today are Atkilt, Atkilt. First name starts with T, Atkilt T, and the second here is, drum roll, Modi G, Modyg. So Atkilt and Modi, you're the first $200 winners. We've got a bunch more to go through here as well. So
congratulations, guys.
And we'll email all the winners too. I encourage everyone to stick around till the end, because we're picking live winners based on who's tuned in live. But we're going to email all the winners too. Brian, before we pick the next winners, how about we switch gears to the Barclays grant?
Sure. Yeah.
One last PSA for this one. You want?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. So you guys still do have some time for this one. The only thing that's going to take substantial time, I believe, you should have a photo. They want a photo of you and your business, something to illustrate your story. But they do want a 500-word story of your business. They want you to pitch your story, which is something we see in a lot.
When you say time, what do you mean? Let's scare people into the time. How much time do they have? Less than 8 hours. Okay,
Is it, yeah, is it 5 o'clock? Is it 5 p.m. for this one?
No, I think it's midnight. And you can
Eastern?
see here, if I click go to application, they've got the countdown on their website as well. So let's see, 8 hours
There we
and
go.
48 minutes left. So
Yeah.
you do have time. That's how much time you have left to get one of these 60 cash prizes starting at $2,000.
So if you're a procrastinator, this is about when you start writing your essay for your college paper. Then this is prime time, right? Just eight hours before it's due.
Yeah, in my opinion, within an hour, you could, 30 minutes to an hour. If you time box it today, it's worth
Definitely.
doing. And we've seen this data in the past. The last day of something due, we saw this with the EIDL last year. The last month of EIDL,
right?
We had more people we were working with than ever before by a long shot. Yeah, so
right. That's probably when I would be turning it in. So I definitely understand. Yeah.
Yeah. So it might be too late for us to help you with it, but again, here's the criteria. The basics are you must have less than 5 million annual revenue and less than 100 employees. As Brian mentioned, a photo, maybe a view of your business, and a story. Maybe we should put up a poll or just informally ask who's already applied for this grant.
I can do a poll real quick. I think that'd be cool to have the numbers. We're always interested in that type of stuff, figuring out who actually is applying. Because like Ryder said, people don't always apply to this stuff, even though we give you the information there. It's just taking that extra step is sometimes, you need a little bit of a boost. But if
just to highlight, oh yeah, Brian?
I was going to say, if you do need some help with it though, Ryder, you did make a video that did kind of go over that a bit about, just tips on that. So you can go and look at our videos. We do have one where Ryder did give you guys some great tips and just suggestions for writing that story.
Yeah, and all these links are in the description as well. And creative expression and gifts, because you've won grants in the past, if I'm recalling correctly, you won the Google one a year ago. Oh, Brian, the typing's pretty loud there, by the way. You won the 10K Google one. You might want to, take inspiration from creative expression and gifts here and get it in by today. So, but in case you didn't see the new dashboard here, we'd love to hear what you think. We've got our latest app out and the latest dashboard. It's all right here. So, Brian, you want to talk about the next grant?
Sure. Sounds good. Okay. So yeah, the next one is the Galaxy of Stars Women-Owned Business Grant. We're always sharing the Galaxy of Stars grants. They do monthly grants, different amounts. And this one is actually due March 8th. So you do have a little bit of time for this one. Their applications are pretty straightforward and pretty easy. There's not much there for us to help you with other than, just getting your name down and submitting. So really, really highly recommend you guys do that.
Galaxy of Stars, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Where's that one here? Yeah, that link. That's a good one. They've done this for a few years now for women-owned businesses. So there you go. And then the other one that's due today, we had Shantae from She Boss talk on 2 weeks ago. They're doing $1,000 grants for Black-owned businesses as well. You need to do a 1 to 2 minute video, but that's due today unless they already reached capacity. I'm not sure if they did or not. Let's see. Anyone have questions on these grants or other grants here, or words of encouragement also go a long way. Yeah, we'll pull up a few here, but let's pick a couple more winners here because we've got a lot to get through here, and then we're going to pick folks who are right on the live here. So let's pick a couple more. Okay, number 433. I'll tell you who that is in a second, and we'll do back-to-back here, lightning rounds for winners. $433 and $522. All right. So, Brian, while I pull up the winners, any questions we want to answer there?
We have one question. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to answer it, but it is asking if the last grant that we talked about was for if you could be a partner or a majority owner. Usually these grants want it to be at least at 51%. They want you to be the owner. I don't have a clear answer for that for the Galaxy of Stars grant. Um, but that's generally what we see is they want a 50%, 51% ownership.
Yeah, typically. Let's see if it's up here. I'm not sure, but let me see if it's on the application quickly. Referring to Galaxy of Stars, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and it might sometimes say,
Yeah, it usually does, but I don't think this one does.
yeah, this is a bit, yeah, maybe they're more loosey goosey about it. So again, like it's easy, you can enter in
Yeah,
30 seconds.
just depends.
Yeah, any and all women small business owners in terms of percent ownership, unclear. So congrats to Jamarcus C and Joel S. You're the next $200 winners. Uh, Jamarcus C and Joel S. Congrats to both of you. And all right, yeah, a lot of good words of encouragement here for folks who've entered in the past. So yeah, Marlena, good to hear you've entered, and hopefully we can tell you can tell others about this today too, because this is a good one. And yeah, I don't know, Brian, how many videos we talked about Barclays. We really didn't want people to miss out on the opportunity.
Yeah, and we were just looking, and still only 48% said yes. We still have about half of you that haven't applied for it. This grant's open for everybody. There's no excuse. If you're looking for grants, this is one that you could enter within, like Ryder said, just take 20 minutes, 30 minutes, write out a story. It's better to try and have it not be perfect than, wait for it to be perfect and never enter it. So definitely want to encourage you guys today for the Barclays grant.
Yeah, and if you think, oh, I never win, well, hopefully we'll prove you wrong. Some of you wrong in a minute, because we're going to pick some of you to win, to give out $100 to in a few minutes here. So go to skipgrants.com. The last call before we pick our first winners there, we'll switch gears and give out grants there. And yeah, thanks to all the shout outs and to everyone who's previewing our app. Talked about it briefly last week. We had a live on Friday. This is amazing. And we'll officially announce it tomorrow or Thursday, but because you're part of the Skip community here, you've had a heads up. Yeah, has anyone tried out the new Skip app? It's Skip in the App Store. Let me pull it up what it looks like here. But huge shout out to our team. Skip app.
Yeah, the links are in the description for anybody. If you're on your phone right now, you can just click it and download the app where we have all of these opportunities and reminders for you to make sure that you do apply.
Exactly. So anything you want to track, any future funding, any program we talk about here, you can track on the web, on the app. We will remind you. So, we will lessen the chance of you forgetting, or, life gets in the way and you forget to apply for something. So that's a huge effort from our team. And with that being said, yeah, great to hear about the app. Let me pick a couple more winners for folks watching right now. Okay. So at skipgrants.com, let me see how many people have entered here. Odds are good. 25 people have gone to skipgrants.com and entered for today. So yeah, we will pick. Brian, how many winners should we pick right now?
Let's do another 2. I like that you're doing it in pairs. I think that's great. And also, let's see, we have 55 likes. We have 86 of you watching. So, let's try to get that number up. We could have at least 86 likes if everyone just hits the like button. Really helps us get our message out there so we can get more of that YouTube revenue to give back to you guys, because that's where it all comes from.
Good reminder. That's why we're doing bonus, ad revenue across the entire ad industry is down, but it's going up recently, so we can give more back. And so there's a direct correlation between a like and a future grant.
Definitely. And this is great. You have really good odds here. Just 25 people answered. That's really good odds. Number 13.
And we'll do another round too, maybe if we get over 100 likes. So number 13, first one. Yeah, Brian.
I think we could do it. We just got 72 likes. We can easily get over 100, I think. And yeah, I think we can do that.
All right. Number 13. And let's see here.
'23.
And number 23. And maybe we can ask informally too, would you rather walk away with something smaller, right? Would you rather, let's say in today's, a chance at $100 for 10 people or a chance at 1,000 for one? You know, we've done various things based on feedback, but if you have a strong opinion on it, feel free to share. Okay, 13 and 23. Guess who? The winners are Carla D. You're the first winner. Congrats, Carla. Are you still tuned in? And Rohit N. You're the second $100 winner.
Yeah, I hope you're both still in the chat. Please, if you are, please say hi. Let us know so we can congratulate you.
Absolutely. And we've got a few more to pick in a minute. Any questions that have come in? Questions about grants, questions about funding, which programs should you be thinking about?
Nothing at the moment, but if I see any, I'll bring them up.
Oh, here's a good one. What about this one? So let's go to the Barclays. This question about, this is a good one because a lot of you probably want to get this across the finish line today. You're working on the Barclays grant. Again, 500 words. So basically to repeat, it should be who you are, what your business does, a few sentences on what you do, what inspired you to start your business, what challenges you've overcome individually, what positive impact you have on others and on yourself, right? Your journey is also important, your personal, how the business helped you grow and what you're looking forward to. That's about 5-6 sentences, 500 words. So, and then what we've said before, and Brian said, you've said this a lot, is you can use this 500-word story for other grant applications.
That's right. Yep. And we actually have another one today. I don't believe it's 500 words. I'm not sure exactly the limit. They don't always give you the number limit, but that's fine because, you can always modify it once you get that 500 words down. Do a 200-word one, have a couple different size versions of your story that you can just plop in every time someone's asking you to do one of these, because we see these all the time.
So I am Gold International. So you add your photos in here, and it is a mandatory field. So in order to click the submit here, again, this is what we're talking about here, team. Right, basically your company name, business start date, nature of business, basically your NAICS code, your website's optional, as you can see, your address, everyone's got an address, phone number, email, your photo, so upload here, and your 500-word story. Now, don't write it in here. It's best to put it in a Google Doc or a Word doc first, so you can check for typos. Very important. Check for grammar, read through it, share with a friend or colleague.
And save it.
Yeah.
Save it. Ryder, we have a really good question here, actually, that Doug Hayden was just asking. Do you want to get into this? Because you actually just covered this in like a video the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and Doug, if you want to put in what state you're in, because, right.
I believe it's Florida.
Okay, Florida. Yeah, that's right. From St. Pete. Okay. So, by and large, every state will require, again, because it's usually CDFI lenders that are getting funding from the state. There's about 3 layers here, from the federal government to the state government, to the state programs, to lenders. So it's like everyone gets a cut along the way. But that's how government works. But definitely a business plan. It's good to have that anyway. If you don't have one, we can help you with that. Definitely your tax returns. A lot of people with EIDL especially, part of the challenge was you never filed your business tax returns or you were a year behind. So make sure your tax returns are filed. I get that right now. A lot of you are filing 2022 taxes. So just keep that in mind. And then financials like a P&L, profit and loss statement. So if you use QuickBooks, if you don't have an accountant yet, let us know. We have some good partners that we work with there. But those are the basics. You know, they'll ask for bank statements, business plan, finance, P&L, projections. And yeah, some of that might sound intimidating, but you know, once you have it, you can use it for other funding applications as well.
Yep. One thing that I thought was a little bit odd, but we have been hearing that a lot of the CDFIs are asking for a resume and a cover letter, which is kind of weird. You wouldn't expect that for a loan, but we have been getting a lot of reports that that's something they're looking for. You know, you maybe, you know, just want to brush that up or just wait till they actually ask for it and, you know, get that stuff out. But I thought that was an interesting thing that we've been finding.
Yeah, great reminder. And Brian, the example you pulled out last week, which we talked about yesterday, was there was also a couple interviews because I think because these are local lenders, like let's say a CDFI, they're backed. So if you go out of business, they're backed by the federal government, so they can take on a riskier loan.
Mm-hmm.
But they still want to know who you are in your business, so they'll still want to chat, say, hey, what's your business plan? Yeah, CDFI. So
I think it's Community Development Financial Institution. I believe that's it. It might be might be a little different, but that's basically what it is. You know, there's like, it's basically, correct me if I'm wrong, some, you know, community credit unions, usually they're nonprofit, and they're kind of local to your area.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So their main goals are always, you know, again, supporting economically disadvantaged communities, businesses that can't otherwise get funding, which is also the goal of the SSBCI program.
And real quick, up here where it says enter at skipgrants.com within Seekers, that's where you're going to apply for the $100 grants today. We continue to use asking how to do that. We get a lot of those questions in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, Skip grants, and we'll have March grants we're going to announce in next week's live. So for those of you who've tuned in for the first time, be sure you're subscribed. For those of you tuning in for the first time, welcome, because we've been giving out grants for 2.5 years just for people who are part of the Skip community. We're happy to be one of the largest companies helping entrepreneurs and small businesses in the U.S. Yeah, that's awesome. Brian, should we pick out a couple more $100 winners?
Yes, definitely. I think everyone's waiting. Some people are love to hear about the SSBCI, but others are just excited for these grants. So yeah, let's do it.
So we'll pick out 2 more from folks tuned in right now. Again, because we're almost at the half-hour mark. You know, we picked 4 folks who entered prior to today. We'll pick more after we're live. But I think for those of you, because you've shown up and you're tuned in live, let's pick a couple more for you. So we got 35 entries now, 35 that are now eligible. So odds are still good. In fact, if you go to Skip Grants right now, if you haven't, put in your email, because I'll check the numbers again after we pick. This will be our 7th winner for today. Number 5, someone who got an early start. Someone who got an early start on that. And I see who it is. I'll announce it in a second. You probably know. You probably have an idea if it's you. But let me pick our 8th winner today. 2 more entered. All right. And number 13, which we had before, but we discounted that same person because they won. So number 5, Renee H. Renee H. You are the next $100 winner, and Esther R. Congrats, Esther. Good to see you. And Renee, congrats to both of you. And yeah, there we go. The extra entries. And oh yeah, Tavanda. Yeah, maybe we'll pick a few more here. I know we're at time, but Brian, what else did we want to cover today?
Yeah, you know, you mentioned the app. You know, Ryder did a more extensive live on Friday talking about the new features. You know, it's, you know, the long or the short, as Ryder likes to say, you know, we're implementing features on the app to help people apply for grants. That's why we've been asking you, who has applied, how many people, because we are finding that there's just some barriers people have for applying, whether it's being able to fill that stuff out or just remembering is a big part of it. So we're trying to solve these types of things with our app. We have some new features this week that we're launching, and we're also planning stuff in the future to just really be the go-to place to be able to have your application information ready for you to continuously be able to apply for opportunities as we find them.
Absolutely. So for all of you who've tried it out early, tried out the app, before we launch to the world, you want to share feedback with us. Like we said 10 minutes ago, your feedback makes a difference, not only for the SBA, for policy, for the folks who have deep pockets, they have billions and billions of dollars, but even for our team, all the feedback you give us. And here's a quick look at the web dashboard. You can see where you have to take action. For example, right here, it says expired, but you have until the end of today for these, right? So this is something we're updating. But you could apply for SheBoss Talk, U.S. Bank Foundation. And actually, that was extended till March 10th. So we're going to update that date. Barclays, due in later today, right? I think it may be 8 hours now. But you can see where you need to take action. You can see ones that you've applied for, and then you can see any past ones. There's none in this example, but you can keep track of everything. Hopefully at the end of the year, you can look back and say, yeah, I did a lot. I took a lot of initiative in terms of trying to get funding for my business. So there you go. We're going to pick a few more winners, but offline. We picked 4 winners from the live, and can't wait. Can't wait until next week. Oh, I just want to answer this question from Stacy. Yeah, if it says expired on the dashboard, it's fine. Ignore that for now. You can still apply on the website for these. So
right. So skipgrants.com, correct, Ryder?
Well, that was for today's live. So yeah. So if you enter there now, you're out of luck. Hopefully you entered that already. But yeah, helloskip.com. We're going to, anyway, next Tuesday, Brian and I will be back. Will we have a special guest? Maybe. You'll have to tune in and find out. But we will be announcing our March grants and some other funding as well. There'll be some other SSBCI news we hinted at. Some of the Florida news might be out next week as well. So yeah. Until then, Brian, any final thoughts?
No, I think we covered everything. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And like Ryder said, next week, we're going to have a lot more grants ready to go for you guys to apply for in March.
Yeah, and great to see so many of you, so many familiar faces. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And on behalf of our entire team, huge shout out to all of them, our entire team who finds grants, funding. We're always working extremely hard to help you and your business. So hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. And until next week, we'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.